new trainers have is how are they going to gain clients and retain these clients in the long term to fill up their roster. The best way to do this is to actually sit down and do some really in-depth goal setting. The best way to do that is to use SMART. That acronym, each syllable, I'll tell you what it stands for. We have S for specific, M for measurable, A for attainable, R for realistic, and T for time. Like how long does it take to reach the set goal. So I'm just going to go through each of these letters to explain why each of them is important and why it's so important to do this in-depth goal setting for your business. So S, specific. When you're talking to your client, you want to be really specific so the client knows where they're going to be going on their fitness journey with you. You want to be asking in-depth questions like, how will this make you feel? What are you going to get out of this? And is this going to change your life? Questions like that. The moment you start doing these kind of questions, the client's going to be bought in and they're going to really appreciate what you're doing for them. The second letter, M, measurable, is you have to find a way that you're going to be measuring the goals of your client. So for example, if the client is saying, I want to lose 10 pounds, how exactly are you going to measure that? Are you going to be tracking them every 2 weeks? Are you going to be doing putting them on the scale? Are you going to be doing body fat measurements, like skin fold tests? If the goal is not as easy to measure, so for example, if you have a client and they're saying, I want to increase my energy, you can't really put them on the scale and figure it out, right? So you have to be thinking outside the box and do something like a rating system. So if you're feeling like you're a 4 out of 10, a month from now, do you want to be feeling like a 6 out of 10? The third is attainable. So A for attainable. So how are you going to attain these results that the client wants? So the client tells you, for example, I want to lose 10 pounds. In order to reach that goal, you have to figure out with your client what's the best way to do this. Does that mean the client has to come 3 times a week to see you, plus do 1 extra hour of cardiovascular training by themselves? Does that mean that the client also has to do that as well as look into their diet? R is for realistic. A lot of times when you get a new client, a client has unreal expectations. They always go for the stars, but you have to be able to bring them back to earth and to tell them what's realistic for them. So for example, you have a client, they come into you, they're like, hey, I really want to lose 50 pounds in the span of 2 months. As a professional trainer, it is in your best interest to tell them that that's not a realistic goal, that you cannot lose 50 pounds in 1 month, and to work with them to tell them that it's probably more reasonable to see that end result in a year's time. Likewise, you don't want to be promising them everything, right? You don't want to be telling them, yeah, you're going to lose 30 pounds in 1 month, because when that doesn't happen, the client will lose motivation and you will unfortunately lose a client. They won't renew. T, time attainable. So you want to be able to sit down with your client and discuss a specific date so they can reach this goal. So let's go for another example. The client wants to lose 10 pounds. You tell them, you know what, we can definitely get this done in 3 months. That coincides with your trip that's happening in December. You're going to go to Hong Kong, see your family. The moment you do this, that's going to motivate the client, because now they have a date set that they're looking forward to really get that result done. That's also going to hold them accountable to a date. So they're going to be more motivated, and you've done the best you can to keep them interested in the program, into the training. If you do these steps, if you use SMART, the chances of you retaining that client and even selling that package goes up dramatically. If you skip it, then the chances of you losing that client are quite high. So, be smart and do proper goal setting.
I think you talked about, I think you said time